So in regards to maximizing energy efficiency with a green building project, what are some ways and some technologies in regards to high-tech items or methods that I can incorporate into the green building project?
Well, there's a lot of gadgets out there now that you can connect to a holistic computer system that integrates all of them, or you can use each gadget separately to monitor how your building is performing. So large commercial buildings and high-rise offices for quite some time now have been using occupancy sensors. And so when somebody walks into the office, the lights go from dim to brighter to a suitable lumen level that's appropriate for office work. When you go in the bathroom, when you leave, like the lights go off and the fan might run for 10 minutes with a delay on it, and then it goes off. And a lot of those controls are available for residences now.
Oh, excellent.
When you have solar panels or wind energy, you have a device that's measuring how many kilowatts of power are being generated. And if you're in an urban area where you're connected to the grid, you're net metering and you're selling your excess power back to the power company, you have a virtual snapshot at any moment in time. How many kilowatts have you produced this year and how many have you used? Because the idea of net metering is you have like an annual averaging, because winter and summer are different in both your usage as well as what you can generate.
Excellent.
A lot of buildings, and tends to be more commercial buildings, but it's super appropriate for off-the-grid homes, are connected to the internet with perhaps a 4-day forecast or a 10-day forecast. So if air conditioning energy use is what you minimize, then the weather prediction for the day is going to say, oh, it's going to be record hot, it's going to be 117 degrees today. So the computer controls connected to the internet, to the building, are maybe the night before, if they got the news yesterday that tomorrow's going to be hot, they might open the windows, let the night sky come in, pre-chill the building, and maybe by 10:30 in the morning, all those automatic levelers are going to like twist shut, and the awnings are going to be up, and they're going to minimize having that noonday sun come in and bake the building and make it warm. Because the idea is you don't want to spend a bunch on air conditioning. And then once the hottest part of the day has gone by, and the computer knows that the building's not going to get too hot now, then they open up the window blinds and the awnings and the shading devices and let the daylight come back in.
Excellent.
And so typical no-brainer residential application is you have a motion detector on the lights in your driveway and outside your front door. So as soon as it senses a car drove in or a person walked up, the light goes on so that the person's not in the dark and they can see, but that way the light isn't on all the time, wasting electricity. When you're off the grid or in town and you have water catchment, if you're going through a drought, it'd be helpful to know if rain was going to come or not, because then maybe you could go crazy using up some water. But if no rain coming was on the horizon, you're going to conserve your water because you don't want to run out. So when you have weather news forecasts integrated into your building, for one, it helps the occupant modify their behavior, whether it's around water, whether it's around power, and then you also can have controls in your water that are testing it all the time and counting the particulates and what's the pH. And so one of the other benefits to controls is if you're getting abnormal readouts, you've got a heads up, like maybe you have a leak, maybe some wire isn't working, your solar system isn't working right, your tank's leaking, a rat got in your cistern and died, like something. So you have like the heads up, like, oh, we need to look into this and troubleshoot and do some repair and maintenance or whatever so we can get it back operating to how it's supposed to operate. So one of the other benefits of having controls is you can just glance at it and go, yep, normal, everything's having normal readouts.
Excellent. Would you say then, in its ultimate realization of a green project, it's a necessary component?
Yes. But if you're living a very low overhead lifestyle way out in the boondocks, you can live without it.
Okay.
But it's a nice thing to have.
Excellent.
And I think in the future you're going to see more and more that all the devices in a house are going to be connected to a computer and be monitored, and you'll control turning them on and off and minimizing usage. You'll have a smart house.